Welcome to SportsBanter. This is Bryce, and I'm joined by Luca. And today we're talking about some basketball, NBA, and March Madness. March Madness is going to be at the end, but first we're going to start with the NBA, and we're going to start with a big re-signing actually, and it's Jrue Holiday. He got paid by the Milwaukee Bucks. He signed a 4-year, $134 million contract extension, and the bonuses can bring up his contract value up to $160 million. Luca, how do you feel about this signing for the Bucks?
Let's just look at his averages for this season. They signed the deal this season. He's 30 years old, averaging 17 points, 4.6 rebounds, 5.4 assists. I understand that this is including bonuses, but $160 million for 4 years for Holiday seems like it's a little too much. I wouldn't pay him this kind of money.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I get it. From a pure number standpoint, this kind of looks dumb, but I like the signing for the Bucks because I think Jrue Holiday is one of the important reasons why this team is competent, why this team is actually talented. So I'd argue that kind of his value to the team outside of the numbers is what makes him deserving of this number. And like you're going to see this all the time. If the Pelicans end up paying, honestly, any team that Lonzo Ball signs with, he's going to be paid. He's going to be overpaid. It seems like it's a given at this point. These kind of overpays, quote unquote overpays, it's going to happen. But I think that especially for a team that wants to is kind of a contender for the NBA Finals like the Bucks, like you kind of had to do this. But I like
if they have the money for it, then I guess
yeah, if they have the money for it. But like Jrue Holiday, he's a great player. I miss him as a Pelicans fan.
He is a great player.
I miss him. He's a great guy too.
He is a great player, but I'll just leave it at this: $160 million would be good if the deal was longer. It's only for 4 years. I get he's already 30, but I mean, it's just the years with the millions is where it loses me. Where I think he's getting overpaid.
I think it'll be a good contract overall.
Hopefully, I don't have anything against the Bucks. I hope it's a good contract. I hope it works out.
Yes, but speaking of Pelicans, Isaiah Thomas, he got signed by the New Orleans Pelicans, and by the time this video comes out, last night was his first game against the Atlanta Hawks. Luca, what do you think about the Isaiah Thomas signing? Just before we talk about it a little more.
He feels great. He has said this. He said he's felt 102%.
Yeah.
Great. This is the best he's felt since his injury. Was it a hip injury? Yeah. I think how much do you know how much they got him for, or how much like the contract is, or something like that?
It's a 10-day contract.
It's a 10-day contract. Oh yeah. So I don't know. He hasn't in the game against the Hawks. He
had
did
10 points.
10 points. 2 assists. He played for 25 minutes. I think they'll find a way to sign a better deal. I think he'll stay at the Pelicans. I think it's a good pickup for them. They need it. They got an injured team, and he still has talent in him. You don't lose the skills that he has.
Yeah. If you look at his numbers, purely his numbers, it doesn't look good. 4 for 13 from the field. But he had a hot start. I think he was 2 for 2 in his 3-pointers, like 6 for 8 from the field at like halftime. But his rust started to kind of show in the second half. Started missing some shots. But like he's not completely terrible. I think, like you said before, the Pelicans need this guy. The team is very impacted by injuries. And I also think it's a nice touch that he's wearing number 24 in honor of Kobe. But don't forget, this guy in 2016-2017 season averaged 29 points a game on the Celtics. Like, he can turn it on when he wants to. Like,
yeah.
I think Isaiah Thomas, it might be a steal of a signing, by the end of the season. We'll see. It gives the Pelicans something exciting, especially when the team's losing to the Hawks. No offense to the Hawks. They're good.
Whoa. We'll get into the Hawks later. We're getting into the Hawks later.
I didn't even make a slide for them. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
But speaking of the Pelicans and injuries, that's kind of what we're going to talk about next. The the Pelicans players are dropping like flies. Zion just came back in the game last night after missing 3. Brandon Ingram hasn't been in 4 games. Alonzo missed a couple. Kyle Lewis Jr., the first-round pick from this past NBA draft, he's been a very good piece off the bench for the Pelicans. He's been out for 2 games. Josh Hart looks like he's out for the season with a torn ligament in his thumb. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, a guy he's been averaging probably over 20 points per game as a starter. He's hurt. We don't know about him. Our second-year big man, Jackson Hayes, just got hurt in the game last night against the Atlanta Hawks. This Pelicans team is just getting hurt left and right to the point where you have to sign guys like Isaiah Thomas. And you have to start guys that you traded for like John Johnson, shout out to John Johnson. He's been playing well. But
you mean James Johnson?
James Johnson, you're right. John Johnson is the safety for the Browns.
Yeah. I was like, huh?
I'm getting my Johnsons mixed up. Johnson and Johnson. Anyways. Yeah. I think it's an issue for the Pelicans, the injury bug. Is this an athletic trainer problem? That all these guys are getting hurt? Is it a luck problem?
I think it's luck. If this was a trainer problem, I feel like these injuries would have happened sooner. That's just my opinion. At least you have Zion. That's how I look at it. You got Lonzo.
I'm happy.
But you also have Steven Adams and Eric Bledsoe.
Oh yeah, Steven Adams isn't bad though. Steven Adams also was hurt a couple games, but Steven Adams,
Steven Adams isn't for a center. Yeah, he is pretty good. Yeah, he is.
Bledsoe.
But I'm just saying, like he's not getting you the points when you got Brandon Ingram out.
Yeah.
Ingram's like him out's horrible for y'all.
Yeah, but happy to have Zion back. Hopefully, start getting some wins soon.
Hey, according to general NBA fans, Zion's had a horrible year this year, so he doesn't deserve any kind of praise.
Oh, I hate the.
I just want to say
I hate the national media.
Everyone's saying that must be crazy and not looking at season stats. He's averaging 26 points per game.
Yeah, and like if you watch him play, he dominates. He is very efficient as a scorer. He dominates, dude. Watching Zion Williamson is a gift. It is a privilege.
He's the best player on the team.
I love watching Zion.
In my opinion.
Yeah, he is. Look, I think after how things have been this season, without a doubt, I think Zion Williamson is 110% better than Brandon Ingram.
And no disrespect to Brandon. Brandon's a great player.
Yes.
But I think Zion's better, yeah.
I think Brandon Ingram's a really good player, a kind of all-star player, but Zion's a generational talent. Brandon Ingram, no offense, is not a generational talent. Zion is. That's the difference. But going on to our next little storyline, and it's Joel Embiid. He just came back from injury, and I mean, if you remember earlier in the season, Joel Embiid, everyone was thinking, oh, this is your MVP. Because he had a great season until he got hurt. But he came back. He got 24 points per game, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks, and a posterizer by Karl-Anthony Towns. Dude, that picture's nasty.
They've hated each other for a while, right?
I think Joel Embiid has a problem with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Especially him and Russell Westbrook.
Oh, I'm thinking of Marcus Smart. I'm thinking of Marcus Smart.
Joel Embiid has beef with like everyone, I think. But
which is weird. Joel Embiid is a great player as well.
He's a great player, but he gets in the head of people. I think that's also the same with Marcus Smart. He gets in everyone's head.
Yeah.
Which
is good. I think that's good.
I think it's good when
you
you
need players like that in a sport.
Yeah, kind of like a Patrick Beverley kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know those guys, those kind of like
Draymond Green.
Or Draymond Green, yeah. One of those players that like pester you and like get you off your game.
Mm-hmm.
But man, in this game that Karl-Anthony Towns had, 39 points and 14 rebounds. I think he was kind of motivated by Joel Embiid's return.
Definitely. That's probably Karl-Anthony's best game this year.
I think so too. I haven't watched many Timberwolves games, but I think that it's a good.
I do want to say.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. We'll get into the Timberwolves a little later, right?
Yeah, we will.
Okay,
but before that, I should have put that next. But we're gonna talk about Gordon Hayward. Mm-hmm. He just got injured a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Man, I mean Gordon Hayward. He's out for 4 weeks with a sprained right foot. What do you think about Luca?
Mm-hmm. Even though they're in the same division as the Hawks, they're a rival, it does hurt to see a little bit because I don't have much against the Charlotte team, the Hornets. And Gordon Hayward has probably, you say what you want to about LaMelo. LaMelo's been awesome, but Gordon has probably been your best player this season. Now he's out, and the other best player this season, LaMelo's out. Or LaMelo's still out, right? Yeah.
Yeah, LaMelo's probably out until the playoffs. That's what it kind of looks like.
Yeah. And where did the Hornets go from here? What do? They don't have their best power forward. They don't have LaMelo. It's just, will they even make the playoffs now? It's 4 weeks. It's a month of worth of games without Gordon Hayward. I think they could be okay, but I did say that I think they could be okay after they lost LaMelo, but they lost to the Celtics, they lost to the Nets. They lost to the Nets. They lost to the Suns. I don't know.
There are a lot of teams in the East that are still looking to come back and to sneak into the playoffs. You've got the Toronto Raptors, which the Raptors and the Hornets are 6 games apart. Every other team is less than 4 games apart. The fact that you don't have Gordon Hayward and LaMelo Ball, that's huge problems for the Charlotte Hornets and their playoff chances. You have Chicago looking to come back. They traded for Vucevic to really contend for the playoffs. You've got the Toronto Raptors, who hopefully they make it back. The Pacers, I don't think you could sleep on the Pacers as a team. Those 3 teams are going to look to steal the Hornets spot. And they have a perfect opportunity to do it because this is the time when the Hornets are banged up and they don't look as good as before. So if I'm a Hornets fan, I'd be really worried. This might not be good for them.
I agree.
But now, talking back with the Minnesota Timberwolves, DAngelo Russell came back 2 nights ago against the Sacramento Kings. And in this game, he came off the bench and probably had one of his best games of the season. 25 points, 5 rebounds in 24 minutes off the bench. Luca, what do you think about the Timberwolves? Sorry.
He's back. They've got I'm sounding like a baby right now. They have him. They got Anthony Edwards, Karl-Anthony Towns. Possible playoff possibility? Maybe. I think they can catch up to OKC. Then after OKC, they got to catch up to Portland. I think there's a chance, and this would be a heck of a run if we see them make it to the playoffs. I think the odds are against them still. They're 13-38. But it would be insane.
They are the worst team in the West. They can't do it. I think it's a lost season.
You don't think they can do it?
They are literally.
I think it's a lost season as well.
They are the bottom seed.
If they stay healthy, though, I think next year can be promising.
They are 10 games behind the Golden State Warriors. And the Warriors aren't bad. The problem with the Timberwolves, I think, is
Yeah.
defense. They have nothing going for them on defense. I don't think they have a good defensive player on that team. DAngelo Russell, terrible at defense. Karl-Anthony Towns, not even that good at defense. I don't even know who you can call a good defender on that team. There's a reason why they're as bad as Houston. And Houston, as I've said, is bad. But I hope DAngelo Russell can really pick it up. Because, I mean, I don't think we've seen DAngelo Russell really hit, kind of what he was in Brooklyn a couple years ago. Man, he was fun on the Brooklyn Nets. Because it felt like DAngelo Russell was like breaking out into a star. But now he's just kind of forgotten on this Timberwolves team. He's not doing much. That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But enough about the NBA. Let's talk about some March Madness.
Whoa.
What?
Whoa,
the Hawks.
whoa.
The Hawks.
No, we got to bring up. We talked about your Pelicans. We can bring up the Hawks.
We can bring up the
and
Hawks.
I want to bring up a little addition to the team. You might know him as one of the best six-man players of all time, Lou Williams. I may have not even said that right. I was just saying crap right there. Since we've had him, we've won every single game. There's 4 games in a row. 4 wins in a row. We beat the Spurs in overtime. Young, Capella, and Bogdanovic went crazy in that game. Then we beat the Pelicans. Bogdanovic went crazy in that game. Williams looked very good in that game as well. And I know y'all were injury-ridden, so it may have not been as competitive as it should have been, but still shout out to them. Then the Warriors game got a little close, but Capella and Gallinari went off. Williams looked good again. Then they beat the Pelicans again. Trae Young dropped 30. Awesome performances from everyone. We're the top of the Southeast and 4th in the Eastern Conference. A month ago, we were called disappointing. Now we're showing up, and I like this. Hopefully we can keep it. That's all I wanted to say.
I think Nate McMillan is the answer for that team. With coaching.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. Who?
Your coach.
The new one. The new coach?
Your coach. Yeah. He's good. He's been a good addition. Because obviously y'all
he was the assistant.
Yeah. Or he was, or
now he's the real coach.
Yeah.
He was the assistant, but now he's the interim coach.
Okay. Well, dude, he's good. Yeah, there's a reason why y'all are the 4th seed. Shout out to the Hawks.
Definitely.
But now we're talking about March Madness.
Yes, now we're talking about March Madness.
Dude, March was freaking, or not even March, dude. April, freaking. I don't know. April anarchy. I don't know, man. But like.
April anarchy, arcade anarchy,
arcade anarchy. I can't say the word. Anyways,
so where did we leave people off last time? Was the Final Four?
Yeah, well, we didn't go over the Final Four.
No, let's just start with the big game, the one that everyone was watching, probably the game of the tournament. Gonzaga 93, UCLA 90. That last second shot is probably going to be the most remembered basketball shot of the past 5 years. It was incredible. It was huge. The shout out to his celebration. What was that a shout out to? Kobe and Wade. That was awesome.
Dude, honestly,
it sucks for UCLA. It really does.
Hot take. Jalen Suggs will be the number 1 pick at the NFL draft, at NBA draft. That's a joke.
NFL draft. What?
That's a joke.
No, that is a joke.
Jalen Suggs is going to be good though.
Yeah, a lot of these players in this tournament.
He's an NBA prospect, but the fact that he hit that shot probably raises his draft stock.
A little bit, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, that game was just wild. Watching that shot go in, dude, I didn't know how to react. I thought this was going double overtime. UCLA could pull out the upset, but no.
Mhm.
Freaking Gonzaga. And real quickly, I'm going to talk about the Baylor Houston game. It just was a blowout.
I didn't catch it. I didn't get to
It
see
was.
it.
I
Yeah,
saw. I watched it. It was a blowout. Houston, especially in the first half, they couldn't get anything going, and Baylor was just on their game. So shout out to Baylor in that game. They killed it. And then Luca, did you watch
the final?
the finals?
I watched a bit of it, and then I slowly realized, man, Baylor is just the better team, and I turned it off. Nothing against Baylor. I'm actually glad Baylor won it. But like it just wasn't too competitive to me. 86-70 was the final. Funny enough, the tiebreaker for our little tournament challenge was predicting the final score. I predicted it 93-90, which was the score of the Gonzaga UCLA game. Too bad I didn't get that right. I mean, you can't say Baylor didn't deserve to win it. They totally deserved to win it. And it sucked because I put Gonzaga to win it, but I'm fine with getting it wrong because I still won our little group of guessing the winners and stuff like that.
Oh, I
with
didn't even
830 points.
I didn't even check that.
Bryce finished in third with 670. Sit down. I'm so much better than you. I'm kidding. I'm messing with you. But yeah, I dominated our little challenge. But do you want to move on to the MVPs, or you want to talk more about the game?
Yeah, I couldn't catch the game really. All I knew is that Baylor was always, they were up on Gonzaga by a lot the entire game, so it didn't seem like Gonzaga had a chance. Yeah, but before we go, wanted to talk about kind of our player of like MVP kind of thing of the tournament. Luca, who did you have?
I'm going to go with what the actual organization gave it to, and that was Jared Butler. He pulled out the NBA draft. He said that he had unfinished business, and he did. He did very good. He didn't do too well in the Villanova game, but destroyed Hart with 5 steals, 13 points, helped in the destruction of Wisconsin. He showed up in the Houston game with 17 points, and then he really showed up in the Gonzaga game with 22 points and 7 assists, 3 rebounds. He was on it. He showed up in most of the games. Great player. He proved he wanted to win, and I think he will be highly taken in the NBA draft. He's a great player. So I have Jared Butler.
Yeah. All right, mine. We're just gonna pretend like the finals didn't happen. It's Drew Timme of the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Handlebar mustache himself. He's had some big games in the tournament. There are only 2 games he just didn't have good performances. I don't have his stats up right now. Never mind, I do.
I can get him.
I got it.
Right.
But in the final game, of the tournament, he had 12 points and 5 assists or 5 rebounds. Well, it wasn't too good, but we're not going to talk about the first round either because he wasn't good. But against Oklahoma in the second round, 30 points, 13 rebounds, probably his best game. Against Creighton, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Against USC, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. And then against UCLA, 25 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. It's been very consistent, like 20 points per game kind of scorer. His season stats were 19 points per game. Drew Timme was... You always knew where Timme was. I mean, he's... Dude, I don't know. Like, his energy. I like his energy. And I think he played very well. Kind of... I didn't know who he was before the tournament. And now I'm very interested to see what he does after the tournament. You know, where he goes from here. So yeah, that was my MVP.
Yeah,
you know, I think he played very well.
Yeah,
no disrespect to Jared Butler.
He's a great player. Yeah, no, they're both great players, definitely. But, I think that's about us from this. I wanted to end the last video with this. I guess we can end it with this one. But remember, hustle, loyalty, respect.
All right. And with that, we'll see you all in the next video.